Hi guys, I'm Lisa and I'm back with another video. Today I want to share with you a TBR of the big books that I want to read over the next year. It's one of my goals for the year to read some of the larger books on my TBR. Both because they're a little bit intimidating, but at the same time I really want to read them. And then they are all, except for one, sequels in the series, so I can continue with the series and finish up a series possibly. So yeah, I have picked out 6 books because I think I have 2 months for each of these books to read, and I think that's doable. I have sort of thought about what books to read in which months in order to make sure that it works out for me. So yeah, let's get started. The first one I have is obviously The Strength of the Few by James Islington. I've already mentioned that in my TBR for January. And in the beginning I thought that I could finish this one in the first month, but it's really big. It's a long book. It's 710 pages, and at this point I am just over 100 pages into it, and I've divided it into 6 evenly split parts. So with every 100 pages I have one of these, so I can sort of put down my own thoughts about it at this point. And I thought I read about 40 pages an hour possibly, so it takes a long time for me to get through this. And if I want to sort of also do vlogs or whatever beside it, I thought it was okay to give this 2 months of my time. So I would have to work a little bit on it over January and then have it to finish it off in February, and that would be okay. So this is the first book that I have for January and February, and this would be when I read this, I'll catch up to a series, so that would be okay and nice. Sorry, my cat just bumped into my tripod. For March and April, I've probably added in my largest book, and that's because I think usually March and April are the months that I get the most done of reading. So I thought it would be a good idea to have one of those books in here. So this one is also, it's not a sequel, but it's the next I have to read in a world that's set, or a series that's, it's not a series, but it's a sort of combination of a lot of series set in the same world, and it is The Way of King by Brandon Sanderson. I wanted to read this last year, but never got around to it. This is the first book in the Stormlight Archive books. And they are the most popular of Brandon Sanderson's, but I have so far read the first Era 1 of Mistborn, so the first 3. I've also read The Alloy of Law, and I've read Warbreaker, and I've read Elantris. And I decided that I want to read them in the publication order at this point, so I need to read The Way of Kings next, because that's the one I have on my list of that. I think I will. There's a chronological order you could do, and there's a and you could read each series, but I think reading them in the publication order, I'll get just as much out of it as if I read it chronologically. That's my take on it. And The Way of Kings is 1133 pages. The first time I read it, I read the first part. I think there were like 200 pages. No, 176 pages. But I think I need to read them again because I don't really remember anything of it. So I'll start fresh and read through everything again. And maybe this time I'll annotate it to get more into it, like understand it a little bit more. For May and June, I have a book that I am able to listen to in audio format alongside. This is The Empire of the Damned by J. Christoph, the second book in the Empire of the Vampire. I don't know if that's the series title. I still haven't, I don't remember. But I really enjoyed the first one in the series, gave it 4.5 stars, so definitely will want to continue it. And this one is also 700 pages, is 713 pages, so also fits into my own goal of reading books that are a little bit longer. So yeah, and considering also it's a really large book, like large in height, width. There's also a lot of writing on each page, so I know it takes a while to get through it. The next one, I think I can consider it a little bit of a cheater because I'm almost halfway through it at the beginning when I start this, and it is 746 pages, but it is Ruin by Jen Gwynn. I hope in the hopes that I could then finish Wrath afterwards. I don't think it's gonna happen, but then I have this one and I'm on page 296, so I only have like 400 pages left. But it's also because July and August are always the months where I read the least amount of pages. So in order for me to finish up this book that I really want to read, but for some reason have stalled on for the last couple of years, this was the way to go. For September and October, I have one of my most not anticipated, but one of the series that I've really always wanted to try out. I've been so nervous about it because I think that I will have a hard time understanding everything that's going on, and that is Gardens of the Moon by Steve Erickson, the first book in the Melisande of the Fallen, or Melisande Book of the Fallen series. So the Melisande books are apparently very, it's a big world and there's a lot of things going on, and I think there's not a lot of hand holding in, so there's a lot of action without explaining a lot of things. So you have to pay attention constantly when you read this. That's my take on it, at least. So looking into someone like doing a podcast or reading group or whatever, whatever way of having a discussion group alongside, so that I could check in and see if I understand the same things, might be a good way to go. But we'll see when the time comes. It might be that I don't need it, but I just have this feeling. But I'm really looking forward to reading it because I think it's going to be really good, and it's one of the staples of the genre. And if I like this, there are so many books that I could get to, and I'm really happy about that, obviously. The last and final book I have on my list is the last book in a series, actually, and that is Heir of Novron by Michael J. Sullivan. And the good thing about this is that it's actually divided into two, because originally they were published as 6 books, this series, but then when the publisher took it on, they combined 2 books to make it a trilogy instead. And so this one is 895 pages is the total of this, but I have the ability to listen to this in audio form as well. And the first book is like this, and this is the last book. So I think the last and final book in this was apparently really long. But Heir of Novron is my final book for this year, and I have November and December to read this one, and will really look forward to this because I have enjoyed my time with these books so far, and they're easily to follow along with. They're very traditional, and they have the sort of fun group of characters, a bit of a mismatch of people, and yeah, super recommend them if you are new to the genre as well, because they are easily read, and they have a good amount of good characters, as I said. Yeah, it's the Rhaenyra Revelation series, and then there are the Rhaenyra Chronicles, which are the next 3 books that I can continue with after this. And then they have some prequel stories and stuff like that. But Michael J. Sullivan's write an easy to digest type of writing style. So yeah. So those are all of the books, the 6 books. Those are the 6 bigger books that I want to work on over the year. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of the books that I've been talking about today. Do you have a challenge for yourself to pick up some of the larger books on your TBR, or do you just do them like you don't need to have this challenge going on in order for you to pick it up? Let me know about that in the comments down below as well. And all of these books actually ties into another goal that I have for myself, to read more fantasies in general, because these are all obviously high fantasy, epic fantasy books. So that will definitely help with that challenge as well. But hopefully I'll read more than just these 6 books over the year, because usually I will. But yeah, anyway, this was everything I have for you today. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.